Nice of you for a change.
Yep. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
This one will be fun. Okay, off trackers. So, as you saw from the title, this one.
Why you sound so down?
Well, this is something I've wanted to do since I was like literally probably 16 years old. It's been on my bucket list, and from the thumbnail, these guys have seen it's not going to be a pretty one.
Oh, okay.
And I am down after doing it. I feel like I was misled for years. Anyway, so this will be a honest review of Cape York. And something I want to touch on before we get into it, a lot of you will have seen the thumbnail. Don't comment till you've watched the whole video, and this won't be just a slam fest on Cape York. We're actually going to run through the itinerary, the good things, the bad things, stuff to do. Then at the end, we'll give our thoughts, and that's when we'll tell you what it's actually like. But something I've learnt from YouTube, and this highlights it, you guys have to remember, YouTubers are on here, not all of them, but most of them, to make a business, which means their job is to sell views. So their job is to hype places up. If it's rubbish, make it look good, because they can't go there and say, oh, we drove 2 hours and this place was trash. We drove for 4 days and this place was nothing. So that's their job, and their job is to obviously sell products as well. So they're not always going to be honest with places, not always going to be honest with products, and we do this to correct that, to right those wrongs and give people an honest review. Because do you care if we hit 1 million subscribers?
No.
No. Do you care if we get 1,000 views, 1 view?
No.
No, neither do I, honestly. We're not on here to make money. We're not on here to be a business. We're here just to give you guys honest information back. And unfortunately, yeah, this one's going to probably hit a nerve with a lot of people, and I'm going to get crucified in the comments. But have at it. You guys can have your say. All that I ask is if you're going to argue against what we have to say, if you were there 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it's different. It has changed. It is not the same as when you went. So please don't sit there and say it was something different when we're talking about now, 2025. This is what Cape York is. So get into it. We'll start with the attractions, what there is to actually see up there.
Yep, we'll run through our 8 days.
Yep, let's get into it. Okay, so we do want to try and keep this sort of short and sharp still. So we basically started and finished at the Lion's Den.
Yep.
Which is a ripper place. People should come here. The grass, this is where we're filming now. The grass is, yeah, it's not hot. The grass is green. Showers are good. Toilets clean.
Pub.
Food's good. Big meals. Lion's Den, ripper. Anyway, we started at the Lion's Den. Then we went to...
Common and stopped in at the Bend.
Yep. So you can get fuel at Cohen.
Yep.
The Bend. So Cohen itself, the town's pretty run down. Unfortunately, I'm going to say traditional Aboriginal town with the cars trashed. Don't know what it is, but when a car breaks, they tend to just smash the windscreens and break it to pieces and just leave it sitting out the front of their house. So that's what Cohen is. It's safe. I didn't at all feel unsafe. The Bend is there where we stayed, and we'll get into the good and the bad about the Bend.
Then we pushed on to Bramwell Tourist Park.
Yep, which there's two. Bramwell Tourist Park and Bramwell Roadhouse. So we stayed at the Tourist Park, which has the live music.
Live music, food, drinks, big open spaces.
Yeah, big, massive, flat open space. Memorabilia.
Yep. Just no powered sites at either of those at Bramwell.
Yep, either of them. So, but there is water? No, there was no taps either.
Yeah, there was water.
There was?
Yeah.
Okay, but showers and toilets, flushing toilets, really nice showers, brilliant pressure.
Yep.
Take your skin off pressure. Really good to clean yourself up. Then we pushed on to...
We went through...
So then we went and had a look at the OTT.
OTT.
Jumped on and checked out...
Fruitbat?
No, Palm Creek first. So we drove on, checked out Palm Creek.
Yep.
Which was pretty cool to be able to actually see that. The track in wasn't too bad.
No.
You got to have
Quite
diff
easy.
breathers because you're going to have to go through some water. So make sure you have... I would say don't do the OTT at all unless if you've done diff breathers. If you don't know what they are, Google them, get them put on your car. Then we continued on up. Fruitbat Falls.
Fruitbat Falls with the first one.
Yep, which was nice, easy to get to. Two-wheel drive, could get down there.
Yep.
Then we pushed on to Elliot and Twin Falls. You need four-wheel drive for that. Probably only 2 hairy sections, which you need like moderate to low four-wheel drive skills.
Yep.
No lockers needed, nothing like that.
No, and then we stayed the night at Elliot Falls.
Elliot Falls,
in the national park there.
And you have to pre-book that.
Yep.
That was deserted.
Yep, not
because
many there.
nobody had pre-booked.
No.
And then the next morning we went and saw...
we went further down to Canal Creek.
which was phenomenal. That was one of the best places, I think, on the OTT.
Yep, so you can free camp there.
Yep. That's traditional owners' land, and they don't care about taking your money. They don't care about rules. You can take your dog there. You can go fishing there. You can camp for free. You can do whatever you want.
Okay.
No rules. But that government one, what was that government one like? Fucking rules galore. Funny that. Yeah, we're told the Aboriginals want to take the land back. Anyway, another topic there, maybe on yarns.
And then we're going to go to Sam's from there, but got a bit too hairy.
Yeah, it wasn't difficult. It was just that you needed either you could rebuild the track. It's all soft sand, clay that you can move around. So rebuild the track anywhere and get up. So if you have a shovel, you can basically get through the OTT no problem. Or if you have a winch, you just winch yourself up. So we decided to turn around and go back up the track, and then we bombed it up to Nolan's.
Yep, went up to...
Well, we actually went up, we drove past it because there's no signs to Nolan's, the Nolan's bypass.
We ended up at the line-up, or the queue at Jardine.
Yeah, because when we went, you guys would have heard the ferry was basically getting some maintenance done. As they were putting it back in the water, so we'll give you the correct story, as they were putting it back in the water, they hit the pylon and put a hole back in it and had to take it back out, fly somebody up from Brisbane to repair it. But give them credit, there's all tests that were meant to happen because there were people camping on the side of the road. They just put it in the water and went, yep, floats, off we go.
Yep.
So they caught up like by midday. Yeah, by midday the queue was gone.
Yeah, they went through everyone very quickly.
But anyway, because we saw the lineup and it wasn't on, we basically bombed it back to Nolan's Brook and camped there.
Yep.
Track in, like, simple.
Easiest of them all.
Yeah. There was only, again, 1 or 2 areas where you had to sort of drop down, but 2-wheel drive, you'd get there no problem.
Yeah.
And we'll get into the good and the bad of those. We're not sort of giving too much, we'll talk about in the good and bad of each one.
Yep.
Then we went across the Jardine up to Punsan Bay. Hairy track to get to Punsan Bay campground. That's where you need a 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, from the croc tent to Punsan Bay.
Yeah. Diff locks, snorkel, you needed to get there. Like, that was, well, unless if you knew to go around.
Yeah.
Which there was no sign, there was no nothing, but it was, the most rutted, and the campground didn't warn anybody.
No.
There's a couple of people rocking up pretty annoyed that Punsan Bay weren't telling people it was going to be a nasty track to there.
Yep.
And then we went to the tip, spent 2 days there, went to the actual tip. Again, we were actually told by the croc tent that road was closing that afternoon, so it was as soon as we got to camp, unpack some things and bomb it up to the tip. But we learnt Cape York's like Chinese whispers town, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just nobody knows what's going on. It's the Wild West. Things are happening, things aren't happening. Everyone's freaking out. The stories just build on top of each other.
Yep.
It's a weird place. But, no, we'll talk about it in the good. And then we basically bombed it back. We went from the tip to, because we just wanted to get out of the, we'll talk about that. Wanted to get back here to the van.
Yep.
So we bombed it back to...
We went back to the Bend.
The Bend.
And then back to Lionsden.
Yep. Yeah, 2 days, smashed it out. 4 hours, 4 or 5, well, I think we're in the car like 5 or 6 hours.
Yep.
So let's get into the actual talking about these places. So we'll go into the good first, and then we'll do the bad, and then we'll do wrap up and thoughts. Into the good. Okay, the Bend. The good about the Bend.
It was free.
Free, brilliant. I'm assuming it was in TO land because it was in Cohen, which seems to be their area. I may be wrong. But yeah, free. You can actually go onto the river if you're not too heavy. The other YouTuber, I forget his name. Can you remember his name that was here?
Something...
Brilliant Adventures. Brilliant Adventures. He tried to go in with his big ass Ram, 250 Ram, and huge titanium and got bogged. But yeah, if you have a light enough car, you can drive across, camp literally on the creek floor.
On the creek, yep. But there was a bit up the top.
Yep.
That's quite flat where all the vans and stuff were.
Vans go. We went up and you can go, there's sort of an abandoned house. You can go along the fence line.
Yep.
We did that on the way back.
So it's, yeah, catered to everyone, that place.
It was a pretty good spot. There was toilets, but I wouldn't dare use them. They were disgusting.
You don't even know where they were.
Nah. But yeah, I rated that place. It wasn't bad.
Yeah,
I liked
it was pretty.
So then the next one is not the Roadhouse.
No, the Bramwell Tourist Park.
Tourist Park. This is a good one. Live music. Grub, they put on dinner.
Yep.
But pricey.
Yep.
They put on breakfast. They have out the back all history and stuff about...
Old station there.
Yep, and they've got all old broken down stuff that broke and they found sort of around the station, which is really cool. Flat, huge lands, big pressured showers, and lots of them.
Yep.
Good toilets, clean. Yep, rated that. Internet, free internet.
Yeah, there was.
Yep.
Needs to be close enough to the
Yep.
pub thing.
Oh, and at the bend there's reception.
Yep.
So Cohen, there's reception.
Big,
Then-
open, grassy.
Yep. Then we went to...
We went to Fruit Bat
Fruit
and
Bat.
then stayed at Elliot.
What was your thoughts on Fruit Bat? Probably the best out of the waterfalls. That was the one where I was on the top, walking along the top.
Yeah.
The deeper at the bottom.
Yeah.
That's probably the nicest of the waterfalls.
Yeah. There's a lot of water going through that time.
Yeah, but it's still... we'll get into that. Yes, then we went there. That was pretty good. Nice timber boardwalk, easy access.
Big swimming area down the
Yep.
bottom.
Nice little... If you go on the top, there's bits you can sort of hang in.
Yep.
Then Elliot and Twin Falls, a couple of different locations you can go to. Twin Falls was probably the best. With
Yep.
the beach. Nothing sort of too spectacular. It's just sort of basic cascades, I'm going to say. And then the campground, there's two sections, the top and the bottom. So the bottom is like 20 and onwards. And
Yep.
then the top must be 1 to 19.
Yep.
And I went for a walk, you didn't. The top is sort of more drier, less humid, more open air. Where the bottom is more level, but was more moist and humid if it had rained. What was there? There was toilets.
Yep.
Toilets, no showers. No showers.
No showers.
And they weren't drop toilets, but they're the ones that go through, like the flap opens and it goes through to the septic tank and stinks. Anything else there? The spaces were big.
Yeah. Spaces were big.
You could obviously pre-book, which meant you didn't have to get there early. You could hang at the falls and get there at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. If somebody's in your spot, there you go, show them your thing, get the hell out of my spot.
Yep. Yep.
So that's pretty cool. Next we stayed at Nolan's, which, like, swimming hole, that's beautiful. That was one of the nicest. We took the chairs in, sat in the water. But we had it to ourselves, so if that's crowded, that'd be a different story. We had nobody there, to ourselves.
Yep.
You're not sort of saying too much, you're just agreeing.
Well, you're just saying it all. Where we camped, quite level up the top
Yeah, really level.
there.
In amongst palm
in
trees.
all the palm trees.
No toilets though.
No facilities there.
Nah.
Total off-grid.
Free.
It was free.
TO land, so it was free. Again, you could fish. Again, you can hunt. Again, you can bring your dog.
Yep. Tracking was easy.
Yeah, tracking was
From the north side.
And then we went up to
And then we went up to Punton Bay for 2 nights.
So we'll talk about the showers in the bad. But they have showers, they have toilets, they have power for caravans. But the water, there was limited taps, which I think were communal, but a few caravanners were being knobs and hooking up to them.
They just thought they were theirs.
So Dylan would be Dylan and come along and go, I'm just going to use the communal tap.
Yep.
So yeah, no water for your caravan, but there is taps you can fill up and fill your tanks up. There is power. Laundry, food. That's actually, yeah, the food was pretty good, expensive, but good. They've done a really good job of that restaurant dining area
Yep.
because they had what? I'm trying to get you to talk.
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Trying to get you to talk. There's all pretty lights and there's the boat that you can sit on.
The tinny bar.
Yeah. Sounds like you said titty bar.
No, tinny bar. Don't know. Yeah, it had heaps of different seating areas, either up near the bar or restaurant or on this veranda looking out or on the lawn area, I guess, like beachfront type thing.
Yep.
Fairy lights and everything going on at night time. The food was like a set menu type of thing, so they'd either have like a pizza night where they'll just do pizzas, or they kind of did like a pub night, so all your traditional pub meals type thing.
Which was steak, palmy and fish.
Yeah, they had a bunch of different things.
Pool.
They had
Pool for the kids.
pool there.
That's about it. You could dump your... They had a caravan dump point, didn't they?
I think so.
Yep. And they had waste. You'll get rid of your rubbish.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And that was it for where we stayed. So that's the good. We'll get into the bad things of each of those, and then we'll do our wrap-up and thoughts of the whole Cape York.
Yep.
No! God, please, no! No!
Okay, Ash, into the bad of the bend. This is easy.
Sandflies.
So sandflies so thick. In the morning, they seem to be the worst. I had my cereal. I wish I'd taken a photo. You put your foot down on the pebbly, sandy bottom, and your whole foot got engulfed with like the tiny sandflies. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm talking, you would end up with 200 sandflies swallowing your foot.
Yep. That was down near the creek.
Yeah, down near the creek.
When we came back and stayed up the top,
Yep.
it
No
wasn't-
sandflies.
it was okay.
Yep. Bad thing,
The toilets, you said?
yeah, toilets are disgusting. Muggy.
Yep.
If you camp down in the bottom section, you don't get a breeze.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to sweat your ass off.
Mm-hmm.
Not many spots for the caravanners. You sort of, how many you reckon? 10 caravans and you're done? Not even that.
Yeah, you got to be in there quick if
Yeah,
you're
in there early.
got a caravan.
And when we left at 11, the people had already pretty much come and filled it for the next day.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, if you're going there with a caravan, you probably need to be there by 11 a.m. to get a spot.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to go across onto the sandy beach, we only sort of saw one person each time.
Yep.
So yeah, not many spots. Anything else bad about it?
Not the main ones.
You are on the road, so there's a bit of road noise.
Only if you're on the top. If you were down
Yeah.
the bottom, we
Yeah,
didn't hear
we
anything.
didn't get it, but when we came to the top, we definitely heard the cars all going past, and people seem to drive all night long up there,
Yeah.
which is weird. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be caught dead driving anywhere up there at night.
No.
Anyway, and then into the bad of the Roadhouse, or the tourist park,
No tourist
Greenwheel.
park. Yep.
Anything bad?
Um.
I don't think I have anything bad.
No, I guess
The price, they were a rip-off
the
for
price.
food. $22 for a breakfast.
No power.
Yep. Yeah, it could be nice of them to put some power on
Um,
and just charge some more for it. But definitely the
other than
price.
that,
Their price
was
is the
no
big one.
mozzies or flies or anything. It was a bit humid, but
Yep.
all the places up there were with
Yep.
the time of year we went.
Yep. Okay, into
Elliot.
Elliot Twin Falls Campground. So national park, so the rules galore.
Yep.
Guy up there really wanted to fish, and when I let him know he couldn't because it's national park, he was shitty. Have to pre-book. So what was amazing, 3 people in it when we were there.
Mm-hmm.
Versus, what's the next one along that we went to?
Canal.
Canal was apparently overrun with people because everyone went to go to Elliot, see they had to pre-book, didn't have internet, had to move on. So the national park is losing money massively by making that pre-book.
Yep.
So yeah, pre-booking, for me, I liked it because I knew I had a guaranteed spot, but for a lot of people it's going to catch them out. Yeah, all the rules, the toilets were nasty. Like,
Mosquitoes galore.
yeah, mosquitoes galore.
And because we went in that
And flies, little
bottom
flies
section
started.
or something, we didn't get any breeze.
Yeah, yeah, that was a hard night's sleep.
Yep.
But definitely the little flies started there and got worse.
Yep.
So then we punched on to Nolan's.
Uh-huh.
And how was Nolan's to sit outside, Ash?
That was not good.
Sorry, Scott, we're doing a review. Can't answer your phone call. Scott from Beach to Bush ringing.
Oh,
So yeah, unfortunately Nolan's, it's pretty much sit in the creek, put your glasses on if it's too sunny, rather than turn away from the camera.
no, it's trees.
Well, just put your glasses on.
I don't like.
So unfortunately, Nolan's, yeah, there was lots of little flies, and that was the only place with the big horse flies as well.
Yes.
So in the morning, we thought, okay, we might chill here and sort of relax a little bit, and we were changing bookings because we thought we were going to miss the barge. And you just couldn't sit.
No.
It was just irritation galore. You sprayed yourself with Aerogard, Bushmans, it did nothing. The big horse flies would bite you. The little ones were just everywhere, just irritating you.
Mm-hmm. So we were quick out of there.
Yeah. So, and then again, no wind because you're in amongst the trees, so it was hot, humid, but we're going to get into that in the wrap up.
Yep.
And then Punsen Bay, what was bad about Punsen Bay, the road in is pretty bad. It's like the worst road on the whole PDR.
Yeah, I guess
It's actually
so.
the worst road. Oh, some of the OTT was worse than it. Some of the bypass tracks. But it was close to as bad as those.
Those parts, yeah. I don't know, I really like Punsen Bay.
Oh, the showers and toilets.
More so the showers.
Yeah, if you like wildlife, you're going to love the showers and toilets. Huge moths, grasshoppers, you name a bug, an insect, it's in those showers. It was weird. I've never seen anything like it.
Yep.
I like insects and stuff, so it was cool seeing them. It didn't gross me out, but a lot of the girls were freaked out. Oh my God, the peepholes.
The peepholes.
Oh, in the showers, there's like at the top, a big massive cutout that looks through into the female in between the male and female showers. So a creeper with a camera just puts their camera up and can film a chick showering on the toilet or film her in the shower. It was weird, eh?
I didn't notice them at first until you said something.
Yeah, a couple of the other girls noticed it and were a bit concerned about it. I don't know why I know it's for ventilation, but not so that creepers can put their cameras through and film you.
No.
So I'm assuming a couple of girls have probably been filmed without them knowing.
I don't know.
Maybe the staff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, nothing else bad about it. Oh, you couldn't swim. Beautiful beach, which we didn't touch on. Absolutely really nice sand, but you couldn't swim.
No.
Crocodiles.
No.
So the water's just there as a tease.
Yeah.
And that's it. So now we'll get into wrap up and thoughts, where we're going to give you our honest review on Cape York, and this is where it's going to get a bit controversial and probably be my most sauciest video on YouTube. Okay, let's get into it.
I am thinking here.
Okay, Ash, wrap up and thoughts of the whole OTT. In one word, sum up, not the OTT, of Cape York. Sum up Cape York for me in one word.
Exhausting.
I'm going to go sweaty. It seems to be because it's beautiful here. Yet, as soon as you hit that York Peninsula, the humidity just goes up tenfold. I don't reckon the temperature changes, it's just the humidity.
Yep.
And then the further you go north, the worse it gets. Punsen Bay, I dead set, we were there for 2 days and we're in a rooftop tent. We weren't in the caravan. We didn't stop sweating. Well, I didn't stop sweating at all. You sweat when you sleep and everywhere. We got warned to take at least 3 sets of sheets because you're going to soak them every night. And that is 100% legitimate. You're going to soak your bedding every night. It's just going to be a lake under you. 2 hours a night we were getting sleep.
Yep.
Yep.
It's pretty bad.
I haven't seen any YouTubers talk about the weather. Unfortunately, they just talk about the good things. So we're here to right those wrongs. It is sweaty. It is hot. The distances you travel are massive.
Yep.
Humongous. I'm talking like 5 hours a day.
We're doing, at least 4 hours a day.
Yep. And we had 8
one
days.
spot to another.
Yep. And we had 8 days up there and it was still big, massive driving.
Yep.
So the only time you won't sweat is when you're in the car. That's the upside to being in the car.
That's where you don't mind travelling those hours because you're in the aircon.
The bugs, there is just flies, mozzies, sandflies. Apart from Punsen was where we finally got a break from that.
Yep.
But then you sweat your guts out.
Yep.
The tip itself, I feel like for the travel that you've done, they should have a bar or something for you to enjoy it because you're in and out of there. Like, how long did we spend at the site? If I didn't
Probably
drone,
half an hour.
yeah, if I didn't drone, we would have been gone in 5 minutes because
Yeah.
there's a constant lineup to get photos.
Yep. And it was still an hour drive from Punson
Yeah.
to the tip.
Yep. But yeah, you just don't get to soak up where you've got to, what you've achieved. There's a really cool, at the car park, sort of green patchy area under the palm trees that overlooks the water. And I said, man, the council should put in a bar or something there so people can sit and soak in what they've achieved.
Yep.
But that's not there. Let's talk about the road up. So it's now, are we going to say 50, if not more than 50% tarred?
I'd say 50.
And then the bits in between the tar, because they've got so much less to look after.
Like the tar, it's 50%, but it's like stop-start.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah,
it's
so we can
not
talk about that.
50% tar
Yeah.
and then dirt the rest of the way.
Yeah.
It's maybe dirt for 10 Ks, tar for 5, dirt for another 10, and what?
Yeah, so you're on and off. But then, like, it's now, the dirt's not bad. Like, people told us Coke can size corrugation, your car's going to be destroyed. There were some nasty washouts you have to look out for.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually got sent a video. I'll put up a clip of it, an overlay. A chick did it in a Hyundai i30. Is that what it is? Anyway, one of the little, tiny little Hyundais. And I said, yeah, your nana could get up there now in a 2012 Corolla, no problem. You don't need a four-wheel drive to get to the tip.
No.
It's just, unfortunately, and to us, it felt like a long way in trying conditions for nothing. And somebody commented on Instagram saying, yeah, it's bang for buck. It's not there.
Yep.
It's the most overhyped place in Australia by far on YouTube.
Yep. If you think about how many hours you've spent travelling,
Yep.
how much money you've spent on food, fuel.
So getting
like
on that, I calculated if you're towing, be prepared every 100 Ks you're throwing $60 out the window. If you're rooftop tenting it in a car, then you're probably throwing about $45 out the window every 100 Ks, and you're doing about 300 Ks a day.
Mm-hmm.
So about $150 a day you're throwing out the window, because the fuel is up to about $1.90 a litre, $2.90 a litre.
I think, yeah, the highest we spent was $2.80. It was
Yep.
around $2.40, and then $2.80 was the most expensive.
Yeah, and everything is far away.
Yep.
So I did say to you, would you ever go up there again?
Only if, say, you had like a big group of friends or something that were going up and have never been before.
But then I said to you, but you're sitting in the car most of the time, and then you get to camp and you're exhausted and don't want to talk to them.
Yeah,
And
that's,
it's hot, and you want to get in your car, and there's flies, and you want to get away from everybody.
yeah.
Maybe if you get blind drunk. Do the flies bother you if you're drunk?
Yeah, you just don't notice.
Because I'm
I
out.
wouldn't be in a rush to go back.
No, I said I would need $100 grand. Somebody would have to pay me $100 grand to do that again.
Yep.
I hated it.
Yep.
And I'm the one that wanted to go there. It's on my bucket list since I was 16 years old. Seen all the hype on YouTube. And let's talk about, it was your long service, which will take you another 7 years to get back. I've got my head injury, which is deteriorating. And in 7 years' time, I may not be able to do another long trip. So this may be our last big trip. And I feel rorted. And I feel like it's the pricks on YouTube who aren't telling this stuff what it's really like.
Yep.
Somebody had told me you're going to be stuck in the car for 2 days and see nothing. I wouldn't have went.
Yeah.
So I keep telling people, go to the NT. From southeast Queensland to the NT, to Kakadu and Lynchfield is the same. It'll take you the same time, a little bit more kilometres, but the same time. And it is spectacular. Jaw-dropping, amazing. Nothing at the Cape is jaw-dropping.
No.
Nothing is spectacular. Everything is average. The waterfalls, Twin Falls and Elliot Falls, there's people down in far north, in northern New South Wales who have the same sort of waterfalls in their backyard. There'd be about 200, 300 people that have that waterfall in their backyard. There is 10 times better waterfalls you can see all around Australia.
Yep.
So yeah, I just reckon overhyped, hot, bug-ridden, fuel prices are disgusting. The road now is just so easy that there's no, man, I survived it, I made it to the Cape. you got this to deal with when you get back. How the hell are we going to clean this?
That's your job.
So, would you recommend it?
I don't know, it's a hard one.
Really? Is it hard for you?
Well,
Hold on. Before we get into that, we spoke to a lot of other people, and they had the same feeling as us, didn't they? We're not
Yeah.
alone in this feeling.
yeah,
A lot of people get up there and go, man, that was a long way and we didn't see much.
yeah. I don't know, I think the best part about the trip was like meeting the people along the way.
Yep, we didn't talk about that. You build a really cool camaraderie, chatting, chilling out. Punsen Bay we enjoyed the most because there was actually a follower who we hung out with
Yep.
on that whole northern Cape York section. Went and did the tip with them and their family. We sat around both nights while they drank, and we sort of had, I think you had a couple of bevies.
Wow.
I had my 11 line bitters and just chewed the fat, talked shit. That was really cool.
Yep.
And that is what happens while you're on the track. You run into the same people. I think that's what happens when you travel Australia as well. A lot of people have told us when they travel Australia, you keep bumping into the same people.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, you haven't
I
answered the
think-
question. Would you go back?
No.
Would you recommend it?
Yes.
Would you? From southeast Queensland to go to wait for your whole long service, blow your long service another 7 years. And most people, it's 10 years to get long service. They're not teachers.
No, then. Are you trying to push a no out of me?
Yeah, well, it seems like you're trying to lie like the other YouTubers.
No, I'm just saying, like, you can't just not recommend something.
I can. Don't go. It's too far. It's shit.
It's just, that's your opinion.
Yeah, it is. It's too far.
So I'm not giving a recommendation. It's everyone's opinion.
If you live at Cairns, go check it out. If you're doing a lap around Australia, you have plenty of money and plenty of time. Because if you had heaps of money and heaps of time, then you could drive around and check out all the places and there's a bit to see. But if you're on a time restraint, do not waste the money punching it up there.
Okay,
Can you agree with that?
I guess so.
Or if you're local to Cairns or Townsville somewhere, it's not so big of a drive, you may go up.
Or if you're doing a lap anyway.
Yeah. If you're doing a lap, but yeah, I wouldn't, like there's a fair few people I know that, same as us, this was their big holiday they've been saving for a year, and I'm telling them not to go. I'm telling as many people as I can, man, it's not what you think. Go somewhere else.
Yep.
You talked about taking friends. I said to you, for the same money, way less time.
I thought this one's meant to be like short and sweet.
Yeah, hold on. Same
Yeah.
money, way less time. You could do Moreton Island, Fraser Island, South Straddie or North Straddie. Would you rather do those three or Cape York?
Okay, if you said that you're going on a holiday to Moreton, Straddie and Fraser,
Yep.
or you're going on a holiday to Cape York, what sounds better?
Everyone would pick Cape York.
Yep.
But should they? You just made this better for
Oh
me.
my God.
Should
I'm
they?
gone.
Should they? No, come on.
walking out.
Should they?
Nah, I'm done.
That's a not wanting to tell you. No, you shouldn't pick Cape York. You should pick the other thing. You could go European holiday for the same price. Much better. On that note, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Hope you enjoy this. We'll keep giving you the honest places. As I said, everywhere else has been brilliant. She's gone. So yeah, please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. See ya.